The pickup truck. Before the highway stretches out, before the job site opens, before the weekend begins, the pickup truck is already there. A cab up front, an open bed behind it, and the quiet promise that whatever needs doing, it will get done. It is the most common vehicle on American roads, visible in every driveway, every parking lot, a shape so familiar it barely registers anymore. The pickup truck does not specialize. It hauls lumber on Monday, drives children to school on Tuesday, tows a boat on Saturday. It is built to do everything adequately and nothing exclusively. The bed carries what the cab cannot: toolboxes, furniture, gravel, firewood, anything that fits between the wheel wells and the tailgate. Full-size pickups like the ones that have dominated sales charts for decades produce between 300 and 400 horsepower and tow anywhere from 7,000 to over 14,000 pounds depending on configuration. Heavy-duty versions push that number past 30,000. But the pickup's real power is not in its engine, it is in the idea it sells. The freedom to say yes to whatever comes next without needing a second vehicle to do it. The box truck. Where the pickup leaves cargo exposed to weather and theft, the box truck seals it away. An enclosed rectangular body mounted directly onto a single chassis, cab and cargo moving as one unit. It is the vehicle behind every local delivery you have ever received. The bakery dropping off before the city wakes. The moving company parked outside an apartment with its ramp down. The florist restocking a shop at midday. Box trucks range from 10 to 26 feet in cargo length and carry between 5,000 and 15,000 pounds. Most come equipped with a hydraulic liftgate at the rear, a small platform that lowers to street level so a single worker can load and unload without a loading dock. The box truck does not cross continents, it crosses cities, and in that role it is so perfectly suited that no other vehicle has seriously challenged it. It is the last vehicle to touch nearly everything you buy before it reaches your hands. The dump truck. Some machines try to be versatile. The dump truck does not bother. It carries loose material from one place to another and dumps it. Hydraulics raise the bed, gravity pulls the load, and the truck drives back for more. That cycle, repeated thousands of times, is how every road gets paved, every foundation gets backfilled, every construction site gets supplied with the raw material it needs to become something. Standard dump trucks carry 10 to 14 cubic yards per load. Articulated models, hinged between cab and bed, handle rough terrain that would snap a rigid frame. And then there are the ultra-class mining haulers, machines standing 2 stories tall, carrying 400 metric tons per trip through open pit mines that operate around the clock. The dump truck has no elegance and no ambiguity. It is the most honest machine in construction. It picks things up, moves them, and puts them down. Everything humans have ever built started with that sequence. The flatbed truck. Some cargo will not fit inside walls. Steel beams are too long. Prefabricated wall panels are too wide. Industrial machinery is too oddly shaped to slide through a box truck's rear door. The flatbed truck exists for all of it. An open platform with no sides and no roof, typically 48 to 53 feet long, rated for up to 48,000 pounds. What looks like a limitation is actually the point. Cargo can be loaded from the top by crane, from the side by forklift, from the rear by rolling it on. Flatbeds carry construction steel, concrete barriers, lumber stacks, wind turbine components, and anything else that needs open air and creative securing. And securing is where the skill lives. Chains, binders, straps, and edge protectors arranged according to precise load distribution calculations. Because a shifted load at highway speed is not a problem, it is a disaster. The tanker truck. What cannot be stacked on a flatbed or sealed in a box rides inside a tanker. A cylindrical vessel mounted on a chassis carrying liquid or gas in sealed compartments. Fuel tankers supply every gas station. Water tankers serve construction sites and fight wildfires. Chemical tankers carry industrial acids in specially lined tanks, designed just to survive what they hold. A standard fuel tanker carries 5,000 to 11,600 gallons, divided into multiple internal compartments, each separately sealed so different fuel grades travel together without mixing. The engineering challenge is not the container, it is the cargo. Liquid moves. When the truck brakes, the liquid surges forward. When it turns, the liquid shifts sideways. That moving weight changes the vehicle's center of gravity in real time, making tankers less stable than solid cargo trucks of the same weight. Internal baffles reduce the surge. Special training teaches drivers to anticipate it. Extra stopping distance accounts for it. The tanker truck carries the most dangerous version of a simple problem. The load never stays still. The refrigerated truck. Temperature is a deadline. Fresh produce has days. Vaccines have hours. Ice cream has minutes once the cold breaks. The refrigerated truck, called a reefer, exists to make sure it never does. A box truck or semi-trailer fitted with a self-contained refrigeration unit, typically diesel-powered, mounted at the front, maintaining precise internal temperatures regardless of what the weather is doing outside. Reefers hold temperatures from 65 degrees Fahrenheit for certain fruits down to -20 for frozen goods. Multi-temperature trailers divide into separate zones, so fresh and frozen cargo ride in the same vehicle without compromise. The real engineering problem is not making cold air, it is keeping it. Every time the rear doors open on a multi-stop delivery route, warm air floods in and the unit fights to recover. That battle between opening and recovery, repeated dozens of times per day, is the invisible challenge behind every carton of milk and every bag of frozen vegetables that arrives at a store exactly as it should. The cement mixer. Concrete does not wait. The moment water meets cement and aggregate, a chemical reaction begins that cannot be paused or reversed. Workers have hours before the material becomes useless. The cement mixer exists to manage that window. Its rotating drum keeps the mixture agitated during transport, turning one direction to mix and the opposite direction to pour. A standard mixer carries 8 to 10 cubic yards and must arrive, position, and discharge completely before the load stiffens. On large pours, a convoy of mixers cycles continuously between the batching plant and the site, each one arriving just as the previous truck empties. The drum itself is more engineered than it looks. Internal spiral fins direct the flow. Water systems flush residue between loads. Hydraulic drives maintain rotation speed whether the truck is climbing a hill or sitting in traffic. The cement mixer is a race against chemistry disguised as a truck. The fire engine. The fire engine is not one vehicle. It is a family of machines, and the differences between them are the differences between life and death. Pumper trucks carry water tanks, hoses, and pumping systems for direct suppression, flowing over 1,500 gallons per minute through multiple lines at once. Ladder trucks carry aerial ladders reaching 75 to 100 feet for rescue and elevated water delivery. Tankers haul water to areas where hydrants do not exist. Rescue trucks carry cutting tools, medical gear, and technical rescue equipment for situations that have nothing to do with fire at all. The aerial ladder on a ladder truck extends and rotates under load, while the ground beneath it is rarely level, a mechanical balancing act performed under conditions where hesitation costs lives. Every piece of equipment on a fire engine is positioned for speed of access, because the vehicle does not just carry tools, it carries time. And on a fire scene, time is the only resource that cannot be resupplied. The garbage truck. The garbage truck is so ordinary it has become invisible, which is remarkable for a machine performing one of the most essential functions in civilization. Rear loaders collect residential waste into a hopper where a hydraulic compactor blade crushes it down, allowing far more material per trip. A typical rear loader carries 8 to 12 tons of compacted waste. Side loaders use a mechanical arm to grab and empty curbside bins without the driver ever leaving the cab. Front loaders handle commercial dumpsters, lifting them over the cab with fork-mounted arms. The compaction systems inside these trucks cycle thousands of times per day, sophisticated hydraulic engineering buried inside a vehicle that no one watches and no one thanks. The garbage truck makes urban life possible by making waste disappear, and it does it so reliably that the only time anyone notices is the one morning it does not show up. The tow truck. Every other truck on this list exists because of what it carries. The tow truck exists because of what other vehicles cannot. A car breaks down on a highway shoulder. A delivery van slides into a ditch. A semi overturns across 2 lanes. The tow truck answers all of it. Flatbed tow trucks, the modern standard, tilt their entire bed to road level, load the disabled vehicle, and level back up for transport with nothing dragging. Boom trucks use a pivoting arm and winch to pull vehicles out of places they were never meant to be. Heavy-duty wreckers recover overturned semis using multiple winch lines and stabilizing outriggers. The physics of recovery are more complex than they appear. Pull angles, rigging points, ground conditions, and the weight distribution of a damaged vehicle all factor into every decision. Tow truck operators solve a different mechanical puzzle on every single call. No two recoveries are the same, and the penalty for getting it wrong is a second accident on top of the first. The car carrier. Every vehicle on a dealership lot arrived on the back of a car carrier, and the logistics of that delivery are more precise than they appear. Open auto transport trailers use hydraulically adjustable upper and lower decks, tilting each ramp so vehicles of different heights fit within legal road height limits. A standard carrier holds 8 to 10 vehicles across 2 levels, with the upper deck extending forward over the tractor cab to maximize capacity. Vehicles are loaded in a specific sequence, a puzzle solved backward from the delivery route and secured at 4 points each by wheel straps and chains. Enclosed carriers handle high-value vehicles, shielding them from road debris and weather. The entire operation is a choreography of angles, clearances, and weight distribution repeated at every stop. The car carrier is the reason a vehicle built in one country can sit in a showroom on the other side of the continent without a single mile on its odometer. The logging truck. The logging truck works where roads end and terrain begins. Remote mountain cuts, unpaved switchbacks carved into steep hillsides, soft shoulders that give way without warning. A fully loaded logging truck carries 25 to 50 tons of raw timber held by steel stanchions called bolsters and bunks, secured by chains and binders against loads that are inherently uneven and unstable. Many logging trucks use a pole-trailer configuration where the front and rear axle sets are connected structurally by the logs themselves, meaning the effective trailer length changes with every load. Drivers navigate blind corners, loose gravel, and grades steep enough to push brakes and engines to their limits simultaneously. The logging truck does not operate in the built environment. It operates in the space between wilderness and industry, carrying raw material out of forests so it can become lumber, paper, and everything wood becomes after it stops being a tree. Simple enough to overlook, essential enough that the world stops building without them. Every truck on this list exists because something heavy needed to go somewhere it was not. And no matter how advanced the world becomes, that problem never goes away. It just finds a new truck to solve it.